Hey guys, today we're going to be going over chapter 1, but before we dive into chapter 1, the chapter 1 PowerPoint, I am going to take you through how I want you to register for your ebook through the publisher, okay? And so as we go, I'm going to be in a little box over in the corner, and I will be talking you through the PowerPoints, just sort of explaining things. Chapter 1, you have already seen in BIS 102. So if you are already really familiar with this stuff, fast forward the video, it doesn't matter to me. You just need to make sure that you understand this because you're going to be quizzed on this information this week. So if you have questions about what's due this week, go ahead and refer back to my email that says how to be successful in BIS 104 this week. Okay, that will tell you if you have not yet registered for your ebook through the publisher, I'm going to ask you to do that as soon as possible because, as you'll see in a second, you have 2 homework assignments that are already due on Wednesday, okay? So remember, we're covering a 15-week class in 4 weeks, so I need you to stay on top of all of your materials, and that starts today. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to get going. Okay, guys, I'm gonna, when I write up on the board, I'm gonna stop sharing so that you can see what I'm talking about up here, but other than that, I'll just be in a little box up in the corner. So the things that you need to do ASAP for this class, okay? First, you need to link that Connect account on Blackboard, and there is a PowerPoint with these step-by-step instructions that's listed on Blackboard under the Information tab. Under the Information tab is also your syllabus, where you have that syllabus schedule. So you have everything that you need. Okay, this PowerPoint that I'm talking about right here, we're actually going to go through those slides together right now. So if you want to go through and register your ebook right now while we're talking about it and just pause the video so that you can catch up and keep up and everything, that would be a great idea. So here we go. The first step is going to be to just log into your Blackboard account. Log into Blackboard, and you're going to navigate to our course, which is BIS 104. BIS 104, Section 1, Second Summer 2019 to 2020. Now, once you're in our homepage, it doesn't say Connect Assignments, but it does say, I want you to click on the tab that says Connect/Homework in all caps, okay? In all capital letters. Click on that. And you'll click on the first link, okay? And I showed you this in the welcome video. So click on the link that says Connect in the little left-hand tab area. Click on that link. You're gonna have a whole bunch of links on this page that comes up. Click on the first one that says Pair with my Connect course. And then it's going to prompt you to either sign into your Connect account or register for your Connect account. Now, most of you, so this is mostly for BIS 102 students, but since you are in BIS 104, you have already likely used Connect. You already likely have a Connect account. So try signing in with your student email address with your go.olemiss.edu email address and your password. Try signing in, because even if you don't have access to the textbook anymore and need to purchase it, you can do that, okay? Or if you have never come into contact with Connect, then what you're gonna click on is this register button. If you need to click the register button, you're gonna go through this registration page, and you're going to make sure that you use your Ole Miss email account, okay? Because if you do not use your Ole Miss email account, you'll be able to go in and do your homework assignments and everything, but when you have completed a homework assignment, it will not pair with Blackboard. So it will not just automatically populate your grades into the Blackboard Grade Center, which is going to be important as we go through this class. So make sure you're using your Ole Miss email address. And then you're going to have 3 options. So you have 3 options. You can, if you have already, say that you took BIS 102 last semester and you purchased a year-long subscription or a 6-month subscription. Maybe not a 6-month subscription. Let's say you purchased a year, because a lot of students end up doing that because of BIS 104. Then you would not have to purchase, okay? You would not have to purchase. You would already have this textbook in like your files. You would already have access to this, okay? So you have 3 options. If you do not have that though, you can either click this button for checkout if you need to purchase an access code. So if you took BISC 102 like a while ago, that would be for you. Or if you only purchased a 6-month access code for BISC 102, then you would be in the need to purchase category. If you have already purchased, so say that you purchased your access code, this 20-digit access code from the bookstore or something like that, and you have that access code with you, you'll just type in that code and then click redeem. Or if you are not sure about staying in this class, if you're not sure for any reason about staying in this class, or literally whatever, okay? Say that you have a paycheck that is coming up, but it's not here yet. Say that you have financial aid coming in, but it's not here yet, and you need to wait and you need temporary access, okay? You can get 2 weeks for free access to this textbook if you click the start now to get temporary access, okay? That is 2 weeks of courtesy access. After that though, you will not have access to Connect, okay? You would have to purchase access to Connect. So be smart, purchase it if you don't have it, enter the code if you already have that access code. Let me know though, if you have any sort of significant financial hardship, please let me know, and we can work with that, okay? All right, so guys, I wanna make this completely clear. There's something for everybody here. Either you already have it because you bought a year-long subscription, or you need to purchase it, or you already purchased it and you have a code, or you can't purchase it yet and you just need temporary access, okay? So everybody needs to do at least one of these things before Tuesday, okay? Before Tuesday, because on Wednesday you have 2 homework assignments that are due. All right, once you have done any one of those boxes, it's going to say that you have joined that class, and it's going to give you the option to go to Connect. You can go there. You can see the homework assignments that have already been assigned. You are able to look around. There are a ton of resources within Connect, which is just a software in your ebook. It's included in your ebook. And by purchasing access to Connect, you're purchasing that access to your ebook. So it's all the same thing. All right, so here you've got 2 purchase options, but honestly, these are just PowerPoints from the publisher, okay? They want us to tell you that you have 2 options. So if you were going through the bookstore, the bookstore would say, hey, we have this awesome deal for a physical copy of the textbook and an access code, and that would be option 1. Option 2 is if you go all digital with Connect. So you would have access to your ebook, you would have access to all of the learning platforms in there, to your homework platforms and all of that, okay? So basically, option 2 is everything here in option 1, but you don't get a physical copy, okay? You don't need a physical copy. Physical copy is not required at all, but if you would like a physical copy but do not want to pay $100+ for a physical copy of the textbook, when this is probably your last semester of biology that you'll ever take, there's another option. For about $25, there is an option to purchase a loose leaf copy of this textbook, meaning that they will print all the pages, hole punch them for you, shrink wrap all those pages, and mail it to you. And then you could put it in a binder. You could follow along that way. If that's how you learn, I would go with the loose leaf version of that textbook. Okay, you do you. Now, this is super important. What is my job? My job is to educate you. And my job is to, be a resource for you in other ways that do not include IT. So if you need any sort of tech support, if you come to me at 4 p.m. on Wednesdays and Fridays when your homework is due, and you say, Ms. Johnson, I've been locked out of Connect, or Ms. Johnson, nothing's showing up for me. Okay, I can't do anything about it at all. And the fact of the matter is that your homework assignments are posted well in advance. Every single week they will be posted well in days and days in advance of when they're actually due. So it's going to be important that you do your homework assignments early, because if something happens, it's completely on you. Okay, if something happens and you did not leave enough time that you could get something fixed if you needed to, I can't do anything. You're going to have to call tech support. So tech support, though, they have an email and chat. They have a phone number. That phone number is open Monday through Friday, 24 hours. It's basically open all the freaking time. So call them. They are trained to work with students to get this technology to work well. And that's because if I have a ton of students coming to me while I'm trying to teach my class saying, oh, Miss Johnson, something is wrong with this, we will not keep going with this textbook. They want us to keep going with this textbook, so they provide this free resource where they will help you with whatever your problems are. If it is technology related and you email me about it, I can guarantee you 100% of the time, I'm going to say, are you using Chrome? And if you say yes, I'll be like, well, fuck, I have no idea at all. I have no idea. None. None. So like it is important for you to use your resources intelligently. I mean, I'm not even upset that I'm not the person for that. I'm just not. If I wanted to be an IT person or a tech support person, guess what I would have been? I don't. I like biology. So go ahead, use these resources. This is posted in this PowerPoint that you have in your like PowerPoint folder on Blackboard. It's also posted in the PowerPoint slides under that information tab. So you always have access to them. Then once you have registered your Connect account, I want you to start reading and answering those practice questions. So reading is not your homework. Doing the practice questions is your homework. So go ahead and do this, because your first assignments are due, the chapter 1 and chapter 12 Learn Smart homework assignments are due Wednesday at 5 p.m. And then you'll have another one, chapter 13, that is due on Friday at 5 p.m. So I need you to keep up with this. All right, guys, we're in biology. We're going to start talking about biology stuff. This is the beginning of chapter 1. This is what I talked about, how you already had it in whatever BISC 102 class that you had. You covered this like on the first day of classes. So biology is the scientific study of life. Anything that is alive, and we're talking about how it works, we're talking about biology. So all of life shares these 5 common characteristics with very few exceptions. Now there are exceptions, and we will talk about those, but typically all of life shares 5 characteristics. So if we were in class, I would ask, can you name them? What makes these football players alive, but this football not alive? That's an important distinction, okay? Because we're using things all the time that, like, could this grow? Yes, it could be deflated and then like inflating this ball and it looks like it has grown. Has it really grown? No. Do you have a transfer of energy going on? No. Is it able to like reproduce and evolve? No. Do they start off as little mini footballs and then they're like growing up into NFL grade footballs? No, that's not happening. Okay, so you've got 5 characteristics of life, which are why these football players are alive and this football is not alive. Now, if this football was made of real, genuine leather, is it alive now? No. But was it alive? Yes, because it was a part of a cow. So more and more distinctions. There are exceptions, people. All of life shares 5 characteristics. Your first one is going to be organization. Anything living is highly organized, okay? So the example that I love to talk about is your house, your home address. So if I said, I live at 1234 University Avenue, would that be the end of my address? No, it wouldn't be. Now, why wouldn't it be the end of my address? because I would live in a city. I would live in a county. That county would have a zip code, maybe even a couple of different zip codes. That zip code would be in a state. That state would be in a country. That country would be in a continent, and that continent would be in a hemisphere, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so we keep going with these hierarchical levels of organization. Now, the smallest unit of anything, living or non-living things, okay, is going to be an atom. And I'm going to stop sharing this so that you can see this with me. Smallest unit of anything is an atom. Smallest unit of a chemical pure substance, okay, is an element or an atom. Examples of atoms. Think of literally anything on the periodic table. Oxygen, nitrogen, carbon, like hydrogen, neon, okay, gold, silver, lead, all of those are atoms, okay? Groups of atoms, these are going to be called molecules. Think of molecules, okay? You have water molecules, you've got carbon dioxide, you've got oxygen gas, which is O2, okay? Two oxygen atoms that are bound together, that is the form that we breathe oxygen into. All sorts of things. Table salt, okay, is a molecule. Then groups of molecules are going to make up organelles. Organelles are going to make up cells. All right, here's where we get back into everything. So cells, okay. So cells are the fundamental unit of life. Fundamental unit of life, meaning that every single living thing is made up of cells. Okay, every single living thing is made up of cells. So here you had your atoms, your molecule. What molecule is this? A DNA molecule. Okay, your organelles, your cells. In this case, that was a chloroplast as an organelle. This is a leaf cell. Then cells are going to come together in specialized tissues. They have collections of specialized cells that function in a coordinated fashion. Here, the epidermis of a leaf is just one part of that leaf, but it's a specific tissue type that does a specific job, okay? So the epidermis of a leaf is going to make sure that water is kept inside of that leaf. It's going to make sure that water is not escaping, that it's not becoming dehydrated, all of that stuff. That's the same thing, and it's going to protect that leaf too. It's going to protect things from coming into the plant's body. That's just exactly what your epidermis does too, okay? So think of all different types of tissue. You have your nervous tissue, you have your epidermal tissue, you've got your dermal tissue, you've got your cardiac tissue, all sorts of stuff. And they all function in a specific fashion. Then tissues are going to come together, different tissues with different functions come together to make organs, which are structures consisting of tissues organized to interact and carry out specific functions. So like a leaf is made up of much, much more than just epidermal tissue, okay? It's made up of a ton of different types of tissue, just like, let's say your heart, your lungs. What other kinds of organs do you know about? Your kidneys, your brain, okay? All of the organs in your liver, whatever it is, all of the organs in your body, you've got lots of different tissues that are coming together to make it function appropriately. Then when you bring together a whole bunch of different organs, you're going to create what's called an organ system, okay? So here you have a bunch of leaves, the entire above ground part of the plant. So not just the leaves, but you also have the trunk, you've got all the branches, all of these leaves. You have organs physically connected or chemically connected that function together. Now, that's important because sometimes you don't have organs physically interacting with each other, okay? So for instance, your brain is an organ that is incredibly important to the rest of your body. Now, it's physically connected to certain parts of your body, okay, via like major nerves and things like that, but even a lot of the roles of the brain are actually going to revolve around hormones, okay, and are going to affect other organs via hormones. So how does it do that? Well, your brain releases hormones into your circulatory system. Circulatory system delivers them throughout your body to your other organs, and then your other organ systems say, hey, I got a signal that I need to release less water, and so it's going to retain more water or whatever it's going to do. Okay, so they can interact chemically or physically. Okay, all right, and then an organism, this is a whole living individual, a single living individual with many organ systems. So what kinds of organ systems do you have? From the last slide, organ systems are like your nervous system, your reproductive system, your respiratory system, your circulatory system, okay, your urinary and digestive systems. All of these are organ systems that rely on specific organs, okay, in order to perform various roles, okay? And so it's all of your organ systems are incredibly, incredibly important. And those organ systems functioning together are going to be what makes up a whole living organism. Okay, so in the case of an organism, it's not just the above ground part of this acacia tree, it's the above and below ground parts. So you've got one whole organ system functioning with another whole organ system to make a whole acacia tree. All right, if you are copying down notes, and I'm going too fast for you, that is the beauty of these videos, is that you can just pause it whenever you want, fast forward whenever you want, customize it to yourself, okay? All right, so all of life shares 5 characteristics. We just talked about one of them, which is organization. What's important is that there are non-living things that can almost all have characteristics of life, but they don't have all 5, right? So have you ever seen a geode, like a rock crystal, okay? Or have you ever been like driving in the mountains and you go through an area, like you're on a highway and all of a sudden it looks like a whole mountain has been carved out for that highway? Number 1, it has, with dynamite. And number 2, if you're looking at the walls of that mountain or whatever you're like looking at, you have these sort of striations, you have these levels of this rock. It literally, different sediment is settling to make that mountain, okay? So it looks organized, but just because it's organized, like the rock crystal, is it living? No, okay? Just because a non-living thing has a characteristic of life does not mean that it's living. I don't trust atoms, they make up everything. Do you remember? Hold on. They make up everything. Okay, so a football, let's go back. A football is made up of atoms, but is it alive? No. Okay, so you have a characteristic of life, but it is, well, honestly, everything is made up of atoms, and that's why this is funny, but it's not alive. Hope you like this Steve Carell meme as much as I do. All right, guys, your next characteristic of life is going to be energy use. So every part of any living system requires an energy input and expends energy, okay? So your metabolism, all the chemical reactions in your body where you acquire energy and when you expend energy. So it's just, your metabolism is this intricate thing where every single one of your cells is taking in and releasing energy all the time, okay? That's your metabolism. And you have different types of energy use that we, I forget if we'll actually talk about these later on. I might put this on your quiz though, just to make sure that you're so plants and things, what kind, like where does a plant get its energy from? Sunlight. So a plant gets its energy from sunlight. It's known as a producer. We are going to call producers also known as whoa, that's an O. Autotrophs. Auto means that it is able to make its own energy out of a non-living source. Okay, so like sunlight. Sunlight is not alive, but a plant is deriving energy from sunlight, converting it into a form of energy that it can actually use. And then you have what are called consumers, which are heterotrophs. Hetero means other, okay? So heterotrophs consume other organisms, and that's how they derive their energy. So could you pick up a rock, eat it, and derive any energy at all from it? No, you couldn't. Could you go outside, put your face to the sun and say, that was delicious, I feel so full? No, you couldn't, okay? So we have to consume other organisms, whether it's a plant, whether it's like whatever it is, okay, plant, animal, whatever it is, we have to derive our energy from other organisms. Okay, so that was energy use. Now we have maintenance of internal constancy. So maintenance of internal constancy, this is homeostasis. So for homeostasis, what is the normal internal body temperature for humans? It's 98.6 degrees, plus or minus a little bit depending on who you are. It varies between people, okay? But normally, your body is going to work really, really hard to make sure you are within 1 degree or even less of that core body temperature, okay? So it's like a thermostat. Life maintains internal constancy by recognizing that your internal body temperature is elevated, and then it works to bring it back down. So let's say that your room is too warm. Right now, it's the summer, it's really hot. So your room is too warm, and say that your thermostat is set at 70, okay? It's set at 70 and your room is 72. This thermostat is going to kick on the air conditioning. The air conditioning is going to turn on, and it's going to cool your house or your room or wherever you are until it reaches that level of 70 degrees, and then it's going to turn off. It brings it back to a comfortable room temperature. If your room is too cold, same thing. The sensor in the thermostat says, hey, you need to kick that heater on. It's going to heat your room up to 70 degrees, and then once it's at 70, it will stop. So in order for homeostasis to work, though, you must be able to sense and react to stimuli to maintain it, okay? So people who, there are critical parts of maintaining homeostasis. One, for instance, is like your immune system. If you have an immunosuppressed person, they are not able to easily maintain homeostasis. Or if you have a major burn, a burn victim, for instance, they're not able to necessarily sense and react to stimuli because something has happened, right? So lots and lots of things are able, because we have talked about temperature, but is it really just temperature when we're maintaining homeostasis? No, it's also like fighting infections, okay? It's much bigger than just temperature. All right, that was maintaining internal constancy. Then you have reproduction, growth, and development. This will be the last one until I stop this and start another one, and we'll talk about evolution. So you have reproduction, growth, and development. How many types of reproduction are there? You have 2 different types of reproduction. You have reproduction that is either asexual reproduction or sexual reproduction, okay? Sexual or asexual. All right, I'm going to stop this, and I'm going to just bring this over here. Okay, so if we're talking about asexual reproduction, you have one parent. You are creating clones, genetic clones of that parent. So little to no genetic variability, and they're going to thrive in an unchanging unchanging environment. Why would they change? Why would they thrive in an unchanging environment? Well, because they're all clones of each other, very little genetic diversity, and that means that they wouldn't be able to respond. They would all be responding in the same way. They're genetically identical. Okay, so say that most bananas that we eat in the United States are stalks of these banana trees where farmers just cut the roots and grow the roots up like right next door to the parent plant. You're basically making clones of that banana tree. So we're all eating these cloned bananas, and let's say that I went to that farm and I was wearing the same shoes as I wore here in the United States, okay? And I walk onto that farm, little do I know I have this like fungal pathogen or something that I have picked up from somewhere, soil somewhere, and I've introduced this new pathogen to that banana tree. Would that be a good situation? No, it would be a horrible situation, because if it would kill one of those banana trees, it would probably kill most of the banana trees. Versus sexual reproduction, you have genetically unique offspring, and they thrive in a changing environment. Okay, thrive in a changing environment, and that's because of all of this genetic diversity in a sexually reproducing species. Okay, so write all that stuff down. I'm going to stop this one to make sure that it's not too long, and I am going to in the next video, starting with the fifth